Hello everyone. So in this lecture, we'll be studying about systematics. Now, this term systematics was first used by Carlos Linnaeus, who was the first person to use the term systematics. Now, um, scientific study of types, diversity of organism, and the evolutionary relationship based on comparative anatomy, physiology, ecology, biochemistry, etc., is known as systematics. So let us write down the definition of systematics: scientific study of types. So it is the scientific study of types, diversities of organisms. Now in systematics, you study about the different types of organisms, the diversity of different organisms. Now apart from this, you also study their evolutionary relationship. We also study their evolutionary relationship based on comparative anatomy. Based on comparative anatomy, physiology, ecology, biochemistry, etc. So basically, what is actually systematics? So one thing you must have understood that here will be doing the scientific study of types, and then we studying the diversities of organisms. So basically, what we'll be doing is in systematics is we'll study the different types of organisms, the diversity of organisms. Now, apart from this, we also study their evolutionary relationship. That means which organism is evolved from which organism, who are the ancestors of that organism. Now, evolutionary relationships are studied by comparing anatomy. We compare the anatomy of different organisms. We also compare their physiology, their ecology, their biochemistry, and certain other aspects are taken into account, which we'll see later in the upcoming lectures. Now, uh, the systematics is based on certain things. So it is based on following things. The first one is taxonomy. Now, to study systematics, you must know taxonomy. To study systematics, you will also have to study the taxonomy. Now, what is taxonomy? In taxonomy, we study, we do the identification, study of identification, and then the nomenclature. Nomenclature means naming things, and classification of organisms. Classification of living organisms. So basically, what exactly is taxonomy? Now, to study in taxonomy, we study the identification of organisms. That means we'll identify that whether it is a plant, or it is an animal, it is a fungus, it is a protist, or whether it is a bacteria. Then you will do the nomenclature. Now, nomenclature means naming. In nomenclature, we will do the naming of the organism that we have discovered. So we'll do the naming of the organism. Then we'll classify it. Now you must have studied, you must know about classification, that placing it in a certain group, like giving it a particular kingdom, whether it will belong to the kingdom Animalia, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Monera, or kingdom Protista. Then we'll decide the phylum of that particular organism. Then we'll decide the class of that particular organism. Then we'll decide the order, then family, then genus, and then species. So in this, we'll do the classification of that living organism. So this is known as taxonomy. In taxonomy, you study the identification, that how to identify the organism, how to do the nomenclature of the organism. There are certain rules for nomenclature of different organisms, like the ICZN, International Nomenclature of International Council of Zoological Nomenclature. Uh, this will decide, this have given up certain rules which you can use to name the new organisms which you have discovered. As in the same way, there are the rules to give name to plants also. So these rules uh, we study in the nomenclature. And then this the classification I have already told you, that will uh, give the organisms a particular type of, you will place the organism in a particular type of group. Will assign it a kingdom, a phylum, a class, and then a order, a family, a genus, and a species. Now, moving on to taxonomic groups. Must know about taxonomic groups to study the nomenclature. Now, taxonomic groups are the groups in which we keep the organisms. The living organisms are kept in a particular group so that we can study the characteristics of it easily. Now, the taxonomic groups are the kingdom. We'll assign the organism a kingdom, then you will assign it a phylum, then you will assign that organism a class, then an order, then a family, then a genus, and then you will assign it a particular species. So these are the taxonomic groups: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. These are the main taxonomic group. In this, you can also find the subcategories, like you find the subphylum, subclass, suborder, subfamily. Below the species, you can find subspecies or varieties, and all these things are some extra groups, some extra taxonomic groups. Now, now the moving on to the next part, we have the five kingdom classification. So must know that there are total five kingdom. Currently accepted classification consists of five kingdom classification, and this classification was given by R.H. Whitaker. R.H. Whitaker gave this classification system. Now, according to this classification system, we have kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera consists of the prokaryotes, all the prokaryotic organisms. We studied the difference between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes in last video. So, the kingdom Monera, which consists of all prokaryotes. The second one which we have is the kingdom Protista. Second kingdom is kingdom Protista. It consists of unicellular eukaryotes. So unicellular eukaryotes are included in kingdom Protista. Third one, we have the kingdom Fungi. Kingdom Fungi consists of multicellular decomposers. Multicellular decomposers. Now, we must even think what are decomposers. So, decomposers are those organisms which feed on the dead organic matter. So, those organisms are known as decomposers. Fourth one, we have the kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Plantae is also known by the name of Metaphyta. And this includes the multicellular producers. All the multicellular producers are included in kingdom Plantae. Now, producers are those organisms which can make their own food without predating on other organisms. And the last kingdom we have is kingdom Animalia. And kingdom Animalia also goes by the name of Metazoa. In this, we include the multicellular consumers. Include the multicellular consumers. Now, consumers are those organisms which depend on other organisms for nutrition. Those organisms are known as consumers. So, this is a five kingdom classification system which was given by R.H. Whitaker, and this is a currently accepted classification system. So thank you very much. This was the basic of systematics. See you next lecture.